Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, ready to continue my Confederate campaign in Ultimate General Civil War. This is now version 0.92 of the game, as there was a small patch that came out, and I addressed that in my last episode. This is Brigadier General difficulty, and as you can see, the enemy is going to have almost 20,000 soldiers and 45 guns as he attacks me. I'm not going to have nearly that many, since I can only take 10 brigades into this fight. So we're going to go ahead and select what I want to have, and basically what I definitely want to have here is I want the Napoleons and the howitzers, which I have, and then infantry besides. So it looks like I'm going to have exactly what I want in this fight. Now, I think typically the enemy attacks a little more on the left than on the right, but I've noticed that the AI is smart enough to try to probe a little bit and figure out where you are and fight accordingly. So we've got to kind of be prepared for either scenario. And I'm going to move everybody up so I can get them into position a little faster. Let's see here. We're also going to break off skirmishers. So let's see. Let's break off skirmishers on all these units here. And then we'll kind of get into position, because I think he hits pretty fast in this one. I'll put some skirmishers up here in these woods. I'm going to get the Napoleons right here in the woods. He's not going to be able to get around me on my flank just because the map's not wide enough for that to happen. What makes this a little bit tricky here is that these woods don't go up here, so that means in order to stay in the cover of the woods, I have to kind of hold my men back to where they can't really fire on the enemy. I'm actually going to put Garish up here, so I've got at least 3 brigades on this side. 4 brigades, I guess it is. And of course, I've upgraded my reconnaissance now, so now I can see exactly what he's got on the battlefield, and he just brought in more, so now he's got 11,000 men. I still outnumber him, but it's not going to stay that way. So the Battle of Cross Keys was basically part of a twin set of battles fought a day apart. Now, this was all part of Stonewall Jackson's Valley campaign in the Shenandoah Valley in the spring of 1862. And this was fought June 8th, 1862. As you can see, it's just after 5 in the morning here. And this victory here, along with a victory at Port Republic the following day, is what freed up Stonewall Jackson to then be able to march to the relief of Richmond and help out Robert E. Lee with the 7 Days battles, which is what we're going to be going to next. Looks like he's going to try and hit me on my extreme left here, so I'm going to get Garish up there to help out these skirmishers. Basically the commander of the Confederate troops in this battle was Richard Ewell. It was basically a division-sized strength. He only had about 6,000 men in this battle historically. The Union had almost twice that, about 11 to 12,000, under command of John C. Frémont, who had actually been a politician. He was actually the very first Republican nominee for President of the United States in 1856, when they had become a national party at that point. About 300 casualties for the Confederates, about twice that many for the Union. So it was a really minor battle in the grand scheme of things, but strategically this one and Port Republic were important because of those defeats that freed up the Confederates to reinforce Richmond, and that's what saved Lee's army in the Valley, or in the 7 Days Campaign. So far, we're just dealing with a lot of skirmishers. I think I'm going to move these Napoleons up here, because it looks like that may be where he's going to come at me. Alright, so he slightly outnumbers me now. He's got more guns, too. Ouch. Virginia Brigade just took it hard there. So I don't know what's over here in front of me on my right yet, but in the meantime, I'm going to bring up some skirmishers and see if I can't get some flanking going here. Alright, let's go ahead and put the Napoleons right here. Alright, back off, Whiting. He's going to turn and face me. I can't quite get around his flank over here unless he starts moving these guys down further. Move Garish up a little bit. So he's hanging out in the woods. He's pretty content just to shoot it out from cover to cover. Oh, there's General Frémont. He's just out of my range. I'm just worried about the Virginia Brigade because they're going to be taking a lot of casualties here. My Napoleons are having a nice time so far. Now the Virginia Brigade's taking it from two different spots. That's going to be a real problem. They're not going to be able to hold like that. So maybe we can put the pressure on one of these brigades and get them to fall back. I'm going to bring the Kentucky Brigade out just because I've got to get some more fire on these guys. Now, I'm going to try and get these skirmishers out on Schenk's flank, but I know they're going to get hit by this battery here. He's going to turn too. I figured that. I'm going to move out from cover just because I'm going to try to put enough fire on this guy to take him out. Ah! He's got his battery there. That's what's making it hard. Alright, stop right there. Don't come all the way out of cover. really not liking this because he's not assaulting me. So he's forcing me to come out from cover just because of the way he's bottling up my units. Alright. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to come at this a different way, I think. Might have been good to have cavalry just because he's got his forces so focused on one side that maybe I can take advantage of that. Maybe we'll just put some pressure on him here. I probably should have brought some cavalry so I could get back here and harass his artillery. Alright, so now by marching up like this, I think we're forcing him into an attack. Come on, let's get these Napoleons into Beale's flank right here. There you go. Nice. That was about 100 men in one shot. Virginia Brigade's still going to be an issue, though. We're going to take out this battery. I'll get the North Carolina Brigade firing into Boland's front, and then Semmes can hit him on his flank. I just couldn't sit there and wait any longer. Virginia Brigade took 500 casualties. They lost their commander. Had to do something to switch this up. This should do the trick. I'll roll these guys up and then start doing the same with the others. There we go. So now he's shifting. He's going to send Beale down this way. I'm going to get Whiting over there. So I've lost about 1,500 men. No. You guys face that way. Nah. Gotta get my supplies up, resupply these guys. Poor Virginia Brigade. They've lost 730 men now. Let's get these skirmishers. Got to be careful, because they're going to expose themselves to fire from this battery, but I want to try and get on Beale's flank. $2,000 casualties for me, about over 4,000 for him. I'm not going to be able to take out that battery. Ouch. That volley really hurt me, so I'm going to charge into him now. I got to be careful. Alright, let's back off, Whiting. Fire a volley and then back off. Let's get back into cover over here. Oh, Major General Albert Johnston has been wounded. That's awesome. Alright, so I've lost about 2,600 men. He's lost over 5,000. That's the way we like it to go. But I'm not inclined to really push this any more than I have. I've got the battle won. There's really nothing more to prove at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it along. Oh, come on. Routed those skirmishers again. Virginia Brigade, they've had quite enough, I think. Oh, it looks like he's going to come back at me so I can cause some more casualties here. That's fine. Alright, so we've caused over 5,000 casualties. Going to lose about 3. Let's get Whiting turned around so we can deal with Beale here. Considering I was outnumbered, I'll certainly take the results of this one. Okay. So he outnumbered me by about 2,500 men. Once again, casualties are about 2 to 1. 3,100 for me, 6,000 for him. I probably could have gone better, but under the circumstances, I'll take it. I captured a Napoleon, a few Sharps, gathered some various other type things here. But the bottom line is it's a victory, and we've gained more men, gained some reputation, and of course that important career point, which I'm going to put into medicine. Well, let me see for a second. where Army organization stands here. Okay, we're going to be one away from a 2,500 max brigade size, so I'm actually going to go there with that just so I can get that max brigade size up a little bit. In the meantime, looking ahead, President Lincoln is highly concerned about your lack of aggressiveness in the field. This continuous passivity has resulted in unnecessary losses that must be replaced with 3,300 fresh recruits. Confederates victorious, blah, blah, blah. So now, look, the army size has actually gone down since the last battle. So that's good to see. We're actually reducing the number of men that he's going to have available to him at Gaines Mill. Hopefully that'll happen again at Port Republic. Now, part of that may just be because of that 5% reduction because I got that victory at the previous battle. So, looking ahead here to Port Republic, which is an assault with only 9 brigades. But he's got 13, almost 14,000 men with 55 guns. So, I should be able to outnumber him in this one, depending on how I choose to form all this. So I got to replace a division commander. And I want to be cautious about pouring new men in for now. We do have our first 2-star unit. We're going to go melee, morale, and stamina. And since it's our first 2-star unit, we're going to go ahead and give them a name. And we're going to go ahead and call this the Stonewall Brigade. I believe, yeah, that's the only 2-star infantry unit I've got so far. And we'll max them out with veteran troops. We'll do the same here. Of course, it's costly to do that, and eventually I'm going to have to build some new rookie brigades. But for the time being, I'm not going to do that. That howitzer group's about to hit the next star as well. Nice so far there. They had 339 kills in that last battle. The Napoleons did really, really well. 710 kills in that battle. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. I think the money's probably going to be more handy for me, but I'm not going to spend it quite yet. Of course, there I can spend 6 and get 250 Whitworth. That'll be nice. So, some choices I need to make here about some things, about how I want to play all this. But I don't want to put any more men into these brigades than necessary just because I don't want to jack up the number of Union forces available in this battle with the scaling. As you can see already, he's up to 14,000 now. Let's see kind of how it's scaled. I'm curious about that. So, if he's at 14,000 now and I add 300 veteran troops to my force. Let's say we add another 250 here, another 300 here. So let's say we added 600 veteran troops. How does that affect what he gets? I added 600 new veteran troops. His did not go up. Okay, so excellent. So maybe it's only every so often that it goes up. So it's worth it to have done that. So I'll finish getting all that ready, and we'll come back tomorrow with the Battle of Port Republic. As always, I welcome your input. I know that was kind of a messy battle. It certainly wasn't my my best battle as far as strategy goes, but the end result was a good one. I doubled him up on casualties. I won the battle, kept mine to the point where I was able to net an increase of men, and I reduced his force pool. So everything went in the right direction. So as always, if you'd hit that thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for all the great comments, the questions, the suggestions. I've been loving the discussion that we're having about these battles. Even when I might disagree with your ideas, I welcome them. So please keep those coming, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.